Me did the chua, and maybe I'm discovered for you, Pakuma Busia for Ghana. No, me used to tap send, tap send. No fee mobile money transfer. Eye easy, convenient, fast, and sounds so free. Won't you share? Me discover ye mapim. Tap send. Intienne. Also download the tap send app. No, ever mobile phone so free. Nefesi kakomu Busia for Ghana for na. Tap send. Papa no.
Everybody check now. Check it. Check it. The beat is real. Don't wait, make it kill ya. Get your green select glucometer and check it. Sugar level, check it. Check it. Green select glucometer. Check it. Push sugar level for check it. Check it. Reselect glucometer. Everybody check now.
This advert has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
One of Ghana's second home is London. And I know very well that anybody who lives in London doing music is more or less like doing music in Ghana as well, because they come here to do their promotion, they come here to do their recording, they come here to do almost everything that our artists are doing. The reason we have Ghana Music Awards UK. It has been awarding musicians from secular to gospel, and today I have a beautiful conversation in this particular interview. This interview has been kept for a long time because the man has not been availing himself. He comes here within minutes, he's gone out of London again. So finally, he went to somewhere. I came from Dubai and I said, okay, come to the studio and let's trash it out once and for all. He's been doing his gospel music thing for so many years with so much experience, organizing events in London, and also sometimes he comes here to do some one or two. His name is Jojo Demans. Maybe you know him, maybe you don't know him, but I know if you live in London and you've been following the music industry there, then surely you might have come across him. The conversation is going to be beautiful, so relax, join us, and put your questions down as well. He might come across it and respond to it. My name is Sammy Flex. Welcome to the Real Talk here on Sammy Flex TV with the man Jojo Demans. And let me say thanks to my production team, Digital Rasta Currency on camera, Richie Flex, editor, director, and a model of Lapiji as the producer. Big man, yeah, yes, London, ending. Oh, I see. London and that. No, but it feels good to be coming from London. You know, there are two countries. Okay, let me make it three. There are three countries in the world that in your life you should visit: London, Canada, US. Maybe I can add Dubai for holidays. Dubai is just for holidays only.
So in this case, it's based on what you're saying, I have two places to go to.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Which one have you not been to so far?
Canada, because I'm not good with cold.
Oh, Canada is very cold, huh?
Apparently so. Dubai, yeah.
You've not been there.
I've not been. I've seen good things, but
yeah.
I'm not gonna say it's overhyped because it's definitely not. It's got some.
Why you think
things.
it's overhyped?
Nah, it's not.
No, if you think it's overhyped, just contact me. Let me take you there for a 1 week.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I've seen good things, so definitely can't say it's overhyped. So I think it's one of the places I want to go to, but I'm not too keen.
Okay. You know, maybe because your agenda hasn't crossed.
Not necessarily. You know, as much as I've heard good things, and once again, I'm not really the hearsay kind of a person, but at the same time, I've heard some.
As well.
Exactly.
But it is not for people like you. What you heard there is not for people like you. It is for those who are there for other interests. Okay. And I think it is everywhere. Immigration interest, let me put it that way. If you travel for other immigration interests, you are likely to feel it as such. Everywhere. It is in London, it is in Canada, it is in America, everywhere.
Help me understand this though. I know what I'm going to ask you got nothing to do with what we're doing right now.
No, I'm hoping it's a conversation. So.
What is the difference between an immigrant and expat?
think expat is more or less someone recognized by states with whatever he is doing in a certain country.
In a certain country.
Yes.
So in this case,
and the immigrant is that person who willingly decided to travel to a country for whatever purpose.
What have they got in common?
They are all foreigners.
Thank you very much. So why is it that when a white man comes into a black man country, he's expat? A black man goes into a white country and he's immigrant.
No, that's what I'm saying. If that white man coming has something to do in relation to maybe governance, state protocols, they will get that name expat. But we see some of them walking down here. We don't call them expats.
What do we call them? Immigrants.
We also call them immigrants.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. So long as that's good. That's good. It's a question that's been going on in my head for some time. But
how is life in London though?
All is well. All is well. We can't really complain,
especially after COVID.
See, let me be honest here, and let me be grateful to God. The COVID did hit, but it did not hit all industries. So it depends on which industry you find yourself in. For instance, if you are in the hospitality industry, it would have hit you very much. If you're in the health industry, you would have worked through and through. If you're in the transport industry, you would have worked through and through. And then the other industries as well that got hit big time. I'm so blessed to be an industry where I was all right. They didn't
Which
hit
industry is this?
The transport industry.
Okay.
Yeah, so I can't.
But people were not moving out. So when you say it was not hit, what do you mean? Because I know some train stations were closed.
Yeah, but we became the frontliners as well, because we needed to get the health workers to and fro work, or the people that were deemed essential workers. We needed to get them from A to B. So literally we were running.
But some places were closed, as much as I know.
Yeah,
I got that information.
Some places were, but that was very much few though. It wasn't that much places. Plus, obviously, you know, they don't mess with their data. So obviously, then they would know which lines are
very busy,
very important to run, and which lines they can obviously play with. So yeah, and then it depends on. Being in the transport industry depends on the talk, i.e. the train operating company that you're working with. If that train operating company or the bus runs on a busy line where they deem busy or they deem fit to run, then obviously you're going to be working. And you're going to be working with the measures that's been put in place.
Okay, so, I get it.
Yeah.
But because you also belong to the entertainment industry, how was the industry also affected by COVID?
It was affected very much, especially my genre, being a gospel musician. Because if church isn't going on, event isn't being organized, then, but you know, as I said, we can all learn. I have personally come to this point that whenever a bad thing happens, there is a good thing in there. The only thing is that the bad overshadows the good. So if you take your time, you'll be able to identify the good in the bad that had happened vis-a-vis the good thing. If a good thing happens, there could be a bad thing somewhere along the line, but because the good overshadows the bad, so we ignore the bad in there. So in as much as COVID came to hit and we all had our own fair share of what had happened, we learnt that we got to be self-dependent.
Okay.
Apart from God, depend on yourself. Use the internet to the best
of your abilities
and of the best of your advantage. So, because loads of churches closed and they couldn't come back.
I know.
You understand?
Some of the churches couldn't come back.
They couldn't come back. Now, if you're a church and you have like 500 or 1,000 people, and for over a year you didn't meet, but you met on Zoom. So now some of them are going to go like, rah, what's the point in traveling to go sit in a church?
Yeah.
I could still lay in my bed and get the same thing. So what's the point? You understand? So now, if you are renting a place,
there were some people who even thought that without church they couldn't live. But after COVID, they realized, oh, so life is still normal.
Thank you very much.
Without church, yeah.
You understand? So now it became necessary for people to look at life differently, and to realign, readjust, and re-strategize as to how to do things. So it did affect us, because obviously you couldn't go to the studio to go record. So it means if you don't have new materials, you're just gonna have to be recycling the old materials that you have for how long? You understand? In as much as it hit us, remember that it did hit us very, very hard as compared to how it hit us down here in Ghana.
Okay.
You understand? So our measures were more stringent than here. And you yourself, when you listen to the news and you see the figures, the numbers,
you be scared.
You don't want to step out.
Yeah, that's true.
You understand?
And
You
the numbers coming from the West, they were scary.
Exactly.
Over in Africa, I think you were in the hundreds, small thousands.
Can you imagine when you go to hear news and one day you have like the projecting like 20,000 people? You're like,
are dead.
What?
But was it real? Were you guys seeing 20,000 people dead?
Personally, I felt like the figures were sexed up.
Yeah. Because
I
like
felt
20,000 people dead, and how were they even burying 20,000 people?
Well, that's the question. And then you
Because
have,
all these things, I know the international media doesn't joke.
Yeah.
All these things, at least we could have seen some one or two, but we are not seeing them. We are only hearing 20,000 people dead, and where are the 20,000 people?
so
Because 20,000 people dead is like,
yeah, that's
It's a big
like
deal.
you're looking at what, mass grave, graves,
and did
stuff
we
like
hear that?
No, we didn't. It didn't. And then they tried to narrow it down to certain race as well, you know, because obviously they do know that once again the immigrant is there for money, and so therefore we will squeeze ourselves in a small place just so we can save money. And this whole thing was almost like airborne disease. And then for instance, when you go to our brothers, the Asians, the Indians, the Bangladeshis, the Pakistanis and stuff like that, they literally like us. You could find one house and loads of people in there. So basically, once one person gets and begins to cough, there's a greater possibility others are going to get them. And then so all these things were going. I mean, some of them were conspiracy theory and all sorts. But COVID came in, hit us as hard as it could. Some of us were able to maneuver our ways out of it, re-strategize. I think one thing that it opened out to us was as a songwriter. So you obviously would take the advantage
To write
writing
some
songs
more.
and composing songs.
So were you able to write some more songs?
Yeah, I wouldn't say more. I did a few. Be doing the quantity thing. I'm looking at
Quality.
more quality and impactful thing. Exactly. It's not a matter of writing 25 songs, but I'd rather write 5 songs that are solid.
Yeah, I get it. Now, because you live abroad, let me ask this question that is being put all over around. The question of Ghanaians living abroad, their attitude, the question of Ghanaians living abroad, they are not united, they are easily likely to betray one another. Recently, I had a story from London like that, where a guy who introduced another guy to a workplace rather went behind him, pinned him, and he had to even leave the job and all. Has that been the reality among us as Ghanaians?
I think it's not just Ghanaians. It's not just Ghanaians. The reason why, let's see, if we hear it a lot is because we are more or less like, let's say, tree. We speak tree. So therefore, when you get to a bus stop and you hear people talking about stuff like that, you can easily relate. When you go to the Nigerian community, you'll find it similar. You go to the Asian community, you find it similar. But because we do not hear it from them, we seem to think we are the worst ones. But you can have a communication with a Nigerian who would possibly say that you Ghanaians are more united, whereas we don't see ourselves as more united. But we see them as more united, but they don't see themselves as united as they see us. So it's because it happens amongst us. So it's more like, it's like recently, it has come to the point that somebody asked me, is it because people are dying more lately? Or I said, no, it's social media. People are still dying the same way, but we're not hearing about them. You understand? So if the person who's dead is in your family, you're not going to hear anything about it. But now, because of Facebook, Instagram, and stuff like that, you just see it out there, gone too soon, and then people are dying the same way. So it's the environment that you find yourself in and how it comes out. But there is an iota of truth in it. You understand? Then the truth, once again, happens everywhere.
Okay, but how about the entertainment fraternity? So for instance, you're a gospel artist, the rest of the people practicing this same trade, how close are you guys?
You see, when human beings get to put things together, then whether you like it or not, this thing called politics will come in. Because there will be no perfection in there. There will be favoritisms in there. There will be this, there will be that. You know, there will be cliques and there will be fraternities and all kinds of things going on. So yeah, the unity will be difficult. So for instance, me, when you come down to South London where I am, there are certain gospel artists that, for instance, if I'm putting up an event, they are more likely to be on. when you go up to the Bedfordshire area, i.e. Luton and Bedford and those places, there are a couple of them that I'm kind of cool with. The reason being that when you're able to strike a relationship with people, it's easier to relate with them, and they are able to understand you. When you don't have any relationship at all, it's kind of difficult. And some of them as well, I don't know whether it's to do with their brand. So therefore, if they don't have any relationship with you and you contact them, then they begin to speak in a funny way. Understand? And so therefore, if you can't meet them as they would want you to meet them, then it's a no-no. Having said that, I don't have anything against that. I had the opportunity of having lunch with one of our toppest gospel musicians in this country, and he was telling me.
Who was that? I don't know if there is nothing evil.
Emoji. No, there's nothing.
Emoji. Hamilton?
No, emoji.
Emoji, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, and we talked and we spoke about how far he's come and things that he's been able to do and how he went about them and all sorts. Now, I can relate to emoji ridiculously well. You understand? I remember I called him from London. I said, "Yo, Nana, this song of yours I want to do is like fat." You get? There is nothing like copyright, whatever. It's like, Charlie, make you just do them and let's go. You get? The same way I contacted Abimbola, a Nigerian woman in Nigeria, who originally she's the author of Kabisi. I contacted her and she's like, "Go ahead, just do it. Just give me the credits. I.e. mention my name in it, and that is it." You understand? I still have her emails in my inbox today, but some of them, as I said, it's kind of difficult dealing with them. So, and me in particular, when you come across a bit funny or a bit difficult, I can't be bothered with you.
No. But who has done it to you?
Who's ignored me?
Yeah.
Let me put it this way: I won't give you the chance to ignore me.
So why are you creating the impression like someone has ignored you?
It's not me.
Because if you don't even give the chance,
it's not me.
Because listening to you've been able to single out some few ones who were very okay to you. But you make it look like others will ignore you. Meanwhile, I don't have any experience to show that someone ignored you.
You know what? Let us agree to disagree. Or let me put it this way: agreeing with you without admitting. Let's leave it right there. Because I know what you're trying to do.
No. I'm not trying to do anything. If you have
for instance,
this lady came from London to Yvonne something Teria.
Okay.
I hope you know her.
The name sounds so well familiar.
Is it Yvonne Ajema Abuaje or Achampon?
The name sounds so well.
Yeah, she's based in London too, doing.
Before you go on, like,
and she was open, like someone did it to her.
Yeah.
Ghanaian gospel artist.
Yep. Like,
she reached out to them online. They were not minding her, but when they see her, "Oh, I've been listening to you. I like you." Meanwhile, this guy has been sending you messages. You see it and you blue tick her.
You see, the first time, the second time, the third time, the fourth, the fifth, and the sixth time I met Diana Hamilton, she's always been consistent. Very, very receptive. She will speak to you. She will crack joke with you. She'll make you feel like you guys are cool. You get? Okay. I cannot fault anybody that may ignore someone. Reason being that you don't know why the person is. There are good times, there are bad times. The only bad that I have is that if I ignore you trying to contact me and I see you in person, I would apologize. But I'm not going to go out there and patronize you. I've been watching you when I'm lying. Why would I do that?
Yeah.
You get? In as much as I don't want to mention names, one or two of them here, it's been funny to me. We met in London. Those days that Uncle Charles was running Ghana gospel, African gospel. Yeah. You know, a few of them, you meet them and even trying to talk to them, and trying to talk to them and you're being ignored talking to gals. You get? They're like, "Yo, alright, cool. If that's how you want it, just walk." As I'm saying, it's very hard for me to give you the opportunity to be funny with me. You get me? I'll try, but I'll try in a very stylishly,
and also walk away
straight up.
I see. Do we have something like a Ghanaian entertainment industry in London?
What do you mean by a Ghanaian entertainment
Okay, so
industry?
a group of people who have come together pushing the Ghanaian entertainment agenda in London, like musicians, event people, promoters.
I
and
have
all.
someone like, once again, I'll bring it. So long as your music takes his interest, he will promo you. You get, there are certain music that he will not do. And you can't blame him because of one, the radio stations that he represents, and two, the platform that he's created. He's created a contemporary. You get, so if you go bring some songs that does not fit, then he can't do it. You understand? We have someone like Daniel Datson, who is more, he doesn't want to be a blogger, but he writes. He sees things and he writes them. So once again, so long as you are doing what's got to be done, Daniel is there to support you. And there are a few others as well. So yeah, they are, but perhaps they haven't been able to come together to identify themselves as such. There are a few promoters and stuff like that. Event organizers, I haven't had opportunity of dealing with them because down south we do our own thing. For instance, if I'm going to organize an event, I'll bring in some of my people and we brainstorm and come together, say, okay, get this person to be the MD, get an instrumental, and then we just get on with it. Well and truly.
So you recognize something like that?
Yeah.
How strong it is?
I think how strong it is will depend on their mileage, how the mileage they go, as in the coverage they do cover. You understand? If you talk about my good friend Daniel Datson, for instance, who is lately been bashed big time on the internet for speaking the truth, you know, he's got quite a good mileage. Uncle Charles has got amazing mileage as well, because Uncle Charles crosses the entire African continent.
Okay.
You understand? So yeah, these are the two main people I've come across that are well and truly doing that kind of job and doing them very well.
Have you been nominated in Ghana Music Awards
Nope.
UK yet?
No.
Why? Have you not submitted your works to them?
It's my fault.
It's your fault.
Yeah, it's my fault.
Are you intentionally going
I'm
away
not
from the
intentionally.
scheme?
I'm not
Which is part of your industry, which is where you belong. So how come you've not been for 6 years, for the past 6 years, and I know you've been doing well. You are loud in London.
That's why I'm saying it's my fault. You understand? You can be loud. Yeah, you can be loud, but then it depends on where your loudness goes. Sometimes you have to be able to penetrate and break certain boundaries. You see, this music thing, one thing I'm grateful to God for is the fact that I got into it, and I've learnt a lot and it's matured me. So the impact it had on my personal life and the music thing has really gone up scale. Back in the days, I don't know if you remember Plus FM.
Yeah.
Was it my first or my second time there? We were having a conversation and Leroy was there. God rest his soul. God rest his soul. Brian Uzimi was there. Logic was there. You were there. And some other people as well. And I think I said something that, oh, Charlie Media, I can't be this a hush. You get me? And Elevania was like, well, then Charlie, you can go baby out.
It's part of the game.
You get me? Elevania was straight out like, no, Charlie, sometimes you have to do a bit of a hunch. And I have learned that. I still haven't been able to get out of it and do it fully. That's what I'm saying, it's my fault. There are certain doors that I'm supposed to knock to get there, and I haven't. And there are certain doors I've tried knocking, but it's as if it feels like bashing your head to the wall. And one thing I have once again matured out of is not giving up so easily. Back in the days, I used to give up so easily. But I think it's a bit better now. That's what I'm saying. It's my fault. There are certain doors I'm supposed to knock.
So now I see you to be someone who is behind it. Do you see it is adding growth to the Ghanaian entertainment industry in London?
Are you talking about the
Ghana Music Awards? Yeah.
It adds growth. It's a wonderful thing to have it on your CV. You understand? It adds value to your ministry as well. I mean, look at it. Apart from, as you rightly said, apart from me being loud, being out there, you understand? If you have that one as the icing on the cake, you going somewhere. I'm not so much of the title kind of a person. Okay,
as in you are not looking for any trophies.
Not necessarily the titles. You know, Minister So. Now Jojo, let's go. You get like Jojo. This is it.
I get it.
But at the same time, as I said, it adds something to your CV. An award nominee, an award winning, blah blah blah. Being recognized and adding some value. So it's
after 6 years that you've not featured in, do you think you are being sidelined? Do you sometimes feel like, why are they not looking at my direction?
Yeah, because I'm sidelining myself. I can't blame them.
And is that what you want to do?
That's not what I want to do.
So why is it happening?
I don't know.
Why are you looking at it happening?
I don't know. This is what I'm saying. I have tried knocking on certain doors and it was not opening. So I think I thought, you know what, let me just take a step back and chill.
See, at this stage, are you doing music for hobby or you really want to cash in?
That's as you rightly said. Do I want to? I don't want to. I need to.
Okay.
You get. But and at the same time, I do know what, have a clue, and it's totally trickled down to. This time it's not going to be the queen's head, it's going to be the king's head. You understand?
Okay.
Yeah. And I have, I think the same question was asked me on a platform, and I said, because there was something that is sucking my money.
Yeah.
You get me? Having said that doesn't mean that I have not prioritized music, but the priority has not been as great as it's supposed to be. By God's grace, if God gives us a couple of years, it's going to blow big time, because the attention, the work, everything. Because, as I said, once again, I had a lunch with the MOG, and the conversations we had, because he was telling me some of the projects he's done, and Uncle Sam, if I'm telling you the money involved, you were like, huh? I mean, look at it.
Some of his concerts and all.
Look at it. If you fly someone like Donny McClurkin from US to here. If you're going to fly Tasha Cobb from America to here with her
band,
bruh, you don't need anything under $200,000.
Wow.
So if an individual is able to bring Donny McClurkin down, so that's some serious money.
Investment there.
Exactly. So you must have it. And if you have certain needs that needs to be met within the shortest possible time, then you just need to look.
A very big song, you're going to put away the transport thing and concentrate fully on music.
Of course. You will not believe the amount of people, even some of my colleagues, that hear me and they go like, "Why? What are you doing here?" I go like, "Give me the money and I'll get out of here." Got train driver friends and stuff like that who are taking ridiculous money per month, and they go like, where's this voice? What are you doing there? And anytime anybody says that, guess the person that comes in mind? Leroy. You get? I go like, yo, it's the money. If you drop me £200,000 today,
to do what?
To push into my music, I'm out of that job.
So, are you saying until you get £200,000,
not necessarily,
your music will never be big?
Not necessarily. But you see, as it is now, I'm funding myself. You understand? And I'm going to be putting in more funds by God's grace from next year, if God blesses us to see next year. You understand? Because that which was sucking me, it's almost in completion. You get? Yeah. But then it's something that you build on. So if I'm going to step out of work, that is one source of income being shut. So now you need money to depend on, at the same time put into projects. So if you don't have that, and you know your crew has also said kasa, I got temperature back and we don't see anything about you. That is what they call you get, and it can be frustrating and demeaning. You get, put that one aside. That is human thinking and how they do their things. But at the same time, you've got to survive. You got to move on,
and you have to also live in comfort.
Thank you very much. It's ridiculously important.
I see. What is the latest work you've put out there?
Odobeni.
And what was the inspiration for Odobeni? I know we're going to listen to it briefly before you run away.
Odobeni was opposite to what I was feeling at a point. You know, when God says that He will never leave you nor forsake you, and it gets to a point when you feel alone and lonely, then you feel forsaken, innit? And then as you feel forsaken, that is when the enemy begins to whisper to you, where is the God that you serve? The one who said He will never leave you nor forsake you. He's abandoned you. He doesn't care. You're just on your own. Those kind of things. And if you entertain that, and you are not able to counter that, especially with scriptures, then the enemy would win. You get? So now then I'm going to talk about the love of God, because the only way somebody will not leave you nor forsake you is if the person loves you. So if God's love is real and I'm not feeling it now, does that mean that He's abandoned me? He's not. So sometimes as well, you know, some of the places that we go and we struggle with thought is when we are in bed at night and you're having sleepless nights. Then your brain is just on overdrive, working like that. And that's when you have all sorts of thoughts coming in. So that's what had happened at some point, but I had to shake it off. So as I shook it off, and I woke up the following morning, and you're feeling all down and alone and downtrodden and all sorts, then so I had the urge to write opposite my feeling. Okay. So now it became more or less like writing a love song when your heart is broken.
I get it. And so far, how is it doing?
Odobeni is doing good.
Raking in the numbers online?
It is. It is. And then I think one of the things...
Sorry, go ahead.
One of the things that challenges me is some of the comments you get out of it. Some of them are funny though.
What are they saying?
Some of them are inspirational, some of them are funny. Funny in a sense that human beings will always be human beings, aren't we? The way we see and analyze things and our thoughts, and it differs. So some people will go like, will ask me like, are you sure you were writing a gospel song? or you're writing about a lady. You were writing, and then somehow look like you decided to slot in to make. I'm like, come on, man. I was only trying to do something out of the ordinary that we've always known. You get? So it's not. Yeah, I understand. There are so many ways you can sing about the love of God, but I decided to go on a trend of it being more or less like a love song. Because of what I was going through at the time. And I like the video too. The video is not the ordinary gospel kind of video. Yeah. It is a video you watch and you feel like, okay, this is someone who believes in the yo-yo kind of life. Well, I don't know why you call it. Someone who believes in the yo-yo kind of life. And you see, if the Bible says, come as you are, because before I left Ghana, you couldn't go to church in t-shirt and jeans. It's suited and booted, and you know, you got, that's the way you have to look to go to church. I know. But then after some time, when you come out here and you see the young boys going to church in t-shirt, flip-flop, jeans, was it ripped, and stuff like that. So yes, I may not condone it and stuff like that, but at the same time, they are coming as they are, because it's the heart that matters. You get? So if I'm going to be suited and booted and go to church, come out to rob or come out to steal as a government official, what am I doing? But if I'm going to go in jeans and I'm going to come out as modest as I'm supposed to be and as helpful and as impactful, then which one do well and truly do you think God looks at? It's the heart that matters. So that video was more or less like saying, let's do this in whichever way, as casual as possible. And that is how it was done. So what you have to do is to go on to YouTube, that is online. Just look for Jojo Demans.
JOJODEMENS, and you are going to be part of what I'm going to talk about. And he has some other interesting songs there. He's got a voice. That one, no two ways about that. He's got a voice to deliver. So anytime you're looking for that soothing voice to listen to as an inspiration, you have to just go on to listen to Jojo Demans. So, but would you do a remix with Kobna Kobna?
Well, I'm not surprised to hear this.
No, because I'm just listening to it, and I was thinking about another sweet voice.
I know it's not only the voice. I know it's the sax and the trumpet as well. That
okay, and maybe the message.
The message as well. I would love,
because Kobna Kobna sings about love.
Kobna Kobna is one of my favorite musicians. I would love to collaborate with Kobna Kobna. Seriously. Kobna Kobna is one of the guys I do listen to. I would love to. As a matter of fact, I'm glad you mentioned it. It's rather unfortunate that I'm almost out, but I'm going to be working on that. Seriously, I'm going to be working on that. I'm going to be working on that.
Any events for you in the coming days, months, weeks?
Yes. Once again, I don't know, emoji names seem to be coming out of my mouth all the time because we had such amazing convo. And yes, there will be stuff happening here in Ghana by God's grace, and UK as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
How soon is this?
It's definitely going to be first quarter.
Okay.
2023. It might be latter part because I'll do one in the second quarter 2023 in London.
Okay.
And then by God's grace replicate that here if I'm able to get a time of latter part in next year, if by God's grace we're still alive.
Okay.
Because over here obviously you need to put the team together and make sure things are okay. And then over there as well it's similar, but because I'm over there, so it's easy to oversee things. But down here you would need somebody in your stead to stay into. So
has your church been supportive to your brand?
My church has been. As a matter of fact, sometimes when I speak to some of the ministers and some of the things that they say about their spiritual fathers and their church, mine is contrary. My spiritual father is involved in my music. As a matter of fact, he's the one who made me aware of the kind of ministry that I have.
Okay.
Secondly, he's been very supportive. He's not one of them ones that you need well and truly to go convince and seek permission from to go out there for events. But rather he will tell you to be very careful which platform you stand on.
Okay.
And if you need any spiritual help, awareness, guidance, advice, he's there. So my church has been. I remember when I was launching You Are Holy album, it was amazing. My church they were very much involved. We've been doing a promotion. Sometimes they'll be doing their own promotion without me knowing. Wow. They just put their own video out there. And sometimes they tag me in. They don't even tag me in, some of them. They just put it out there. So yeah, my church has been. If anything, I'm the one who's guilty.
And what's the name of the church though?
House of Faith.
House of Faith?
Yeah.
In London, which part of London?
South London.
South London.
West Norwood.
Are you available for invitation for gigs in London?
Yeah.
Or you'll be doing train work? You'll be wearing your underground art costume.
Let's see. Yeah, more than available. The only thing is time. Once you have a bit of ample time, I mean, you can book time off from work to do what you need to do. So if you can't just like, today is Friday, or let's say you call me on Wednesday saying, oh, could I have you on Saturday?
That will not be possible.
Exactly.
So a good time, and you are going to prepare for that.
I'm good to go.
Wow. Yeah. This is beautiful. That's something that I want you guys to know. And this is Jojo Demans. I believe after here, you'll be checking him out with some of his works, and he's available, especially to those who live in London, to the churches, to the event promoters, gospel events, maybe bloggers and all that. You guys should contact him, and let's do some more on social media. Jojo Demans. Look for him. I'm not sure he will share his contact. Yeah, he's very protective of some things in his space. Well, he's very protective in his space.
Depends on what you mean by contact. I'm happy to put out my email address.
I know
good with it.
I know that's what he will do.
But when it comes to
JojoDemans@gmail.com.
That's it.
Oh my goodness. I remember an Ochami very say ochami.com at Ochami, he has a vibe like that. Yeah. So jojo@gmail.com. Anytime, anywhere. You can also contact him and let's do. Charlie vibely meeting you. And I love this song though.
Thank you.
You have to perform this song for me on a very special day I'll tell you about later. Yeah.
Me can't wait.
But to be in London though, that special day will be in London.
You're kidding me?
Yeah, I'm serious about it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right.
Now you are confused.
Actually, I'm not. I know. But yes, okay.
Don't be scared. Not what you are thinking too. I know what you are thinking, but that's very far from that. My name is Sammy Flex, and I'm saying thanks to Digital Rasta Currency on camera, Richie Flex, editor, director, Ivan for PG, and of course, my special guest. His name is Jojo Demans. London, I'll be coming back soon. It's been long I came to London. I think since last year, I've not been there, but very, very soon you guys will be seeing me and you'll be vibing some more. See you when I touch down. We out.